Aman, could you go next?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Aman Kashwar and I'm a fourth year undergrad student. I completed my BTP under Professor Advay Mitra of the Center for Excellence in AI.
Anish? Let's move on with Motia Rahman.
Hey guys, I'm a fourth year undergraduate student. I did my BTP in VGSOM under the guidance of Professor Parama Barai.
Shubhraja?
Hello guys, my name is Shubhraja Ghara. I'm also fourth year undergraduate student of the Department of Chemical Engineering, of course, and I have done my BTP under Professor Parag Arvind Deshpande.
Okay. Aman? Aman? Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I was
Sorry, I wasn't audible the previous time. I think my mic got. Am I audible
Please.
now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hey everyone, I'm Arnesh Kumar Sir, a dual degree student of the Department of Chemical Engineering. I'm currently pursuing my BTP under Professor Pavitra Mitra, and I'm under the Department of Computer Science and Engineering.
Aman, could you introduce yourself?
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Sweta, I think I introduced myself earlier.
Okay. Great.
Didn't you guys hear me?
Yeah, we did hear you. We confused it with some other panelists. That's fine.
Okay, so I will go again. My name is Aman Kashwar and I'm a fourth year undergrad student of our department. I completed my BTP under Professor Advay Mitra of the Center for Excellence in AI.
Okay, great. Let's start the session with a very basic question. What is a BTP? Can any of the panelists volunteer and explain
Okay,
us?
I'll take it up if that's all right with everybody, if other panelists. So basically, BTP is your BTP stands for your BTech thesis project or your BTech project, whatever you would like to call it. It's a mandatory requirement for your curriculum. You may choose to opt out of the BTP and take subjects instead for the credits that are listed under your BTP thesis, the BTech project. But overall it's in simple terms it's what it stands for. It's a project that is done as part of your bachelor thesis. It holds quite some value if we are doing it over the 2 semesters, the 3 credits for this autumn semester and 6 credits for this spring semester. So a total of 9 credits are on this project. So you take up a project under a professor, and like based on the professor's grading, the credits are allotted to you for this project.
Okay, great. Would any of the other panelists like to add anything to this?
Yeah, so
I guess Arnesh has pretty much summed up.
Hello?
Yes, Subraja.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted
Yeah,
to
Shubhraja,
add,
you can go ahead.
yeah, add this thing that the thing that Anish said, that you can take subjects as well as project, but the process goes is like that when you take project for the first semester, you can opt for you can offer subjects as well as project in the next semester. But if you have taken equivalent subjects in the first semester, then you cannot opt for project in the other semester. So this is the process how it goes.
Okay. Does any other panelist want to add anything more?
No, I think they both have pretty much summarized everything concisely. So I don't think there is anything more to add as to what is the BTP. I think you can move ahead.
Okay. BTP have credits. Is there an alternate to BTP?
Yeah, like as I
Yes,
yeah.
as intro last time, right? That the BTP has 6 credits of BTP has 3 credits in the autumn semester, and there are 6 credits in the spring. And And when we talk about an alternative to the BTP, like while registering for a semester or even much before that, like during this time, you'll get an option from a faculty advisor that if you want to take a BTP in your department, you want to take a BTP outside the department, or you want to take subjects of equal credit as your BTP. So yeah, basically the only alternative to a BTP is subject, and I think, and as far as I know, subjects from everywhere are included there, right? If 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 any of the
Yes, yes,
if
yeah,
some other panelists can
yeah. You just have to apply like you do for additionals or electives, that you have to uh, fill that request thing on ERP, and then you can apply for the subject, and the respective professor will approve it or decline it or whatever.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if there's any forward questions regarding the BTP subjects taken, or is there something like that? Like, I just have a few clarifications. So, like, people who are wishing to opt out of BTP for subjects should know about them.
That comes in upcoming slide. Yes.
Okay, okay, sure. Then we'll take up that.
So next question is how to approach professors to get a project.
I guess we can start with first the department ones, like Anshuman's approach, Subraja's approach, and then we can move on to outside departments like me, Motiyar, and Aman.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess in my case, what happened was working with Srishendu sir since my second year. Okay, I worked through the lockdown as well a bit, so I pretty much continued my project under Srishendu sir. I just talked and like he informed our faculty advisor from the same that I want to continue a particular project, and that's how it got approved for me. I didn't have to do anything much extra to like approve.
Does any other panelist want to add to this?
Shubhraja, I
Yeah,
think you
so
can go.
yeah, yeah, sure, thank you. So in my case, I didn't do any project earlier. So there was a list being circulated in the department that you people will get also, that you have to choose a project of your choice and then request the respective professor via mail or any other platform that you're connected with that professor with. You can request that professor that I am interested in this particular topic of yours and I want to pursue my BTP under you in this project. You can also like you can draft an email properly that you why you are interested in that particular topic, and you can also explain if you have done some previous things that is related to that particular project. So you can basically draft a mail and request that professor to give it to you. So this was the approach that I used to get a BTP project in the Parag Arvind Deshpande sir.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question. Can we choose our own project from the list provided, or is it randomly allocated to us?
You can choose your like primarily the faculty wishes that you choose your own project from the list or bring up your own project essentially. But yeah, if you haven't clearly indicated that you either you are opting out of the BTP or you already have a BTP project, then the rest of the projects will be distributed. Like rest of the remaining projects will be distributed to you guys to amongst the other remaining students.
Okay. Does anyone else want to add?
Uh, yeah, like more or less that's that only. I think we can move ahead.
Okay. So how to take up a project we are working on as a BTP project?
So as Anshuman mentioned, he was doing a project currently under our department only, Professor Shishendu Day. So that is easily done up because Professor Shishendu Day simply mentions the project in the department list and mentions Anshuman as a student. So that's directly done. So in department projects can be easily turned into a BTP project if your supervising professor agrees. For outside the department, I think Motiyar can explain since he also has a outside the department BTP project.
Okay, so I'm also enrolled in financial engineering. So the process I followed was I didn't want to take up a project in the department. So what I did is I wrote a mail to one of the professors, Professor Parama Barai in VG SOM, So in my mail, I mostly included whatever I have done till now, and I also attached my CV. And apart from that, whenever you're writing a mail to any other departments in KGP, make sure that you are properly going through the research papers, and also like see what in which areas they are presently working in, and mention this in your email, like which papers you've read, and what exactly did you like in their research, in their particular paper. Mention some of the points, like if you can suggest some changes which can improve those papers, include these points. See, they get a lot of mails from inside the GP as well as from the outside, so just to make your mail stand out, you should include these points. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Which is better, BTP in chemical department or in other departments?
I mean, it's totally like there's nothing called better in the sense. It's basically based on what you wish to work on. Like for example, Anshuman, we like it's known to our batch. Like he has been working in the core chemical domain for a lot and has been and even has a good place even has a good placement in Dr. Reddy's this year only. So like it's totally based upon your interests. So like give like overall doing I would suggest doing a BTP is a must, since it has many benefits, like giving you a kind of taste of what academia is like. You have to write your own thesis, so that way you get to know about things a bit. Maybe if you do some good work, so the your BTP professor gives you a letter of recommendation for your further studies. So that's the benefits. But as such, where you do your BTP from, it's basically dependent on your interest. Like as Motiar mentioned, he's interested in finance, so he took it up in finance. I'm interested in a bit on motion planning, so I took it under Professor Pavitra Mitra. So yeah, it's mostly interest based.
Okay. Could anyone
Yes,
else?
exactly. I mean, you can't compare a BTP like in a department or or outside the department. Like it's totally based on your interest or on whatever you want to pursue later as a career interest, maybe in academia or maybe also in industry. So yeah.
Okay. Yes. So moving on to the next question, how useful will be taking up a BTP?
Uh, yeah, I mentioned the research part of it. Apart from that, like when I'll explain the course structure part of it, like restrictions to taking course, etc. Like if as it when it comes. If anybody else has any other points, Aman or Shubhraja maybe.
Yeah, so hey guys, the usefulness of BTP depends on what you want to pursue. Like you are gonna set for placements or internships. So if you are in your fourth year, you can write the BTP work in your CV. So I've written my BTP work that I had done till that time in my CV, and that was a great talking point during interviews. So the interviewer in one of my rounds spent like lots of time on that part. So it comes out pretty useful, like if you're sitting for placements or something. Like I was interested in finance, and despite being in the Center for Excellence in AI, my project was based on economic modeling. So that was really great for me to have a like talking point related to economics coming from my background in an interview for a financial firm. So like these are the ways it could be useful for non-core people, and for core people, like it clearly makes sense. You are working on a project in your core department, and you could get a letter of recommendation or even publish a paper in that field.
Okay.
Yeah, and one more thing I'd like to add to what just Aman and Ernest said. So working in a BTP is like it kind of gives you a work experience. Okay, it's like an intern. So working in a professional environment, working under deadlines and like working professionally, actually, it is a huge add-on to your existing experience. At least I believe that that's helpful. So I think BTP just gives you something more to show to the company, or maybe if you're applying for some university as PhD maybe. So yeah, that way also it's actually pretty useful for you, like boosting your existing profile.
Okay. Subraja, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, so just wanted to say some things about four-year students. So, if you people are planning to sit for placements and taking up a BTP in your seventh semester. So it will be a bit tough for your part because you have to manage your placements as well as your BTP that I did last semester, and I can say that it's a little bit tough to do that. So just be sure that what you are focusing on, like there are people who are going for research, so for them BTP helps a lot. But for the people who are sitting for placements, you have to manage your time judiciously to because both things are important. Your final presentation will be very close to your placements test or interview. So mind those things and then take a decision of taking up a BTP or some equivalent subjects.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question. What if we choose coursework instead of BTP? Uh,
Yeah, like if you're choosing coursework instead of BTP, there's no issue per se. You just have to complete those credits of 9 credits. Those you just have to complete those 9 credits. A few factors that need to be considered, and like anybody else, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. As per my knowledge, like the autumn semester
Yeah,
that
I'll just add to this that you choose coursework, then like maybe you're kind of bound with that coursework's own timeline. Okay, like there will be tests, there will be assignments, so तुम्हारे पास any time control थोड़ा कम रहेगा. That's it. BTP है तो what you can do is like you'll be able to manage your own time more efficiently. Like you can choose when to work, when not to work on that. So okay, that.
Yeah, it totally depends upon you. Like if you are good with learning the coursework, if you are pretty fast with your assignments, or you can easily pick up things while if you attend classes, and that will be enough for your semester examinations, then the coursework would be good for you. But yeah, BTP offers you a totally new experience, so that is something that one should always experience coming to IIT. So the project really booms you. Maybe you can find your interest in that particular topic that you haven't looked up yet. So yeah, it depends upon you. So coursework will help you. It will help you to manage your time efficiently because it's some of the BTPs they are loaded because you have to schedule meetings, weekly meetings with your professor and also the research scholars. So that would be a little bit more hectic, but yeah, you can manage it. It's not that much tough.
Motiyar and Aman, would you like to add anything?
Rest of the covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, they covered almost everything.
Just two small pointers that I would like to add. That is regarding the subjects. First of all, people who are planning to take up subjects, mandatory subjects or optional subjects for your minor under the BTP subjects, like the subjects you will be choosing instead of your BTP, don't do that because because the administration does not consider them at all. So if you do take like the mandatory subjects will be counted, like that can't be helped. But if you take your optionals, for example, in a CS minor or an MNC minor, under these BTP, under the subjects that you have to take instead of the BTP, the ERP, the administration or the ERP doesn't consider it under your minor. So be mindful of that. And secondly, in for example, in your spring semester, like if there's a total requirement of 6 credits, so there's a minimum credit per subject bar also on these BTP subject. So you cannot go like 4 credits and 2 credit subjects. You have to go for a 3 and 3 credit score system, if I'm not wrong. Like if any of the other panelists know that if it's something else, please feel free to correct. Yeah, I think we
No,
can.
that's correct.
Okay.
Moving on, we have some questions from the participants. So the first question is, are there any chances of publishing a paper, and how do we communicate with professors? Sharman Pal has asked this question.
I mean, the chances of
Yeah.
publishing.
Yeah,
Moti,
Anish, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Moti, I can go ahead. I have been speaking for a lot.
Okay, good. So there are a lot of chances for publishing a paper. You can mention this in your start itself. Okay, so they were mentioning like, what if you're choosing coursework? It's almost the same as a BTP. If you're starting from day one, and if you're giving say 2 to 8 hours a week, then you can easily complete the paper. You can easily complete the entire BTP work as well as you can like create the first script for submission. You may not be able to publish it in the first term itself, but then within the next 2 to 3 months you'll be able to publish it in a very good journal. Yeah, at least that is the case in most financial in finance. If you're able to say improve the performance by some extent, then you can publish your paper on that. But maybe it's not the same in the departmental subjects. Like for that, maybe Subraja can take it up.
Subraja, would you like to answer?
Sorry, I lost the connection.
The chances of publishing a paper after doing a BTP.
I guess Mutiyar covered it all, and yeah, I guess the chances are uh, pretty much good of releasing paper if you are really dedicated into the project. So you can have a talk with your professor that I want to publish this paper with you, and he can tell you the process of it. But yeah, you have to continue your BTP for 2 semesters, and you have to work under that professor, because the paper publishing is not a task of a week or two. It takes about 2 months. So yeah, you can contact the professor regarding it if you're really interested.
Okay. So BTP versus coursework, which is less loaded?
The answer is pretty much dependent on your advisor per se. Like your advisor and what is your discussion regarding the BTP deliverables. Like basically finally what will you be delivering as part of your BTP with your advisor. So if you are if your advisor is all right with you giving out some deliverables, like there are some deliverables, so that's all right. In an online semester, the courses, as you know, are like quite hectic with assignments, constant assignments, and everything. While in BTP, like as Sobraja mentioned, you mostly have weekly meetings and like there are weekly deadlines. So even working on a sprint of 4 to 5 hours on a single day works.
Okay. There's another question. Can we avail a project outside the department? If yes, how to look for it? And does anyone have the list of the professors?
The list of professors is essentially any professor who works at IIT KGP. That's your essential list of professors. Like you can approach any professors. For getting outside, yes, you can. All three of us, me, Motiyar, Aman, and quite a lot of our other batchmates are doing a BTP outside the department. The process is basically you need permission of 4 people. One is your faculty. The second is the professor you are intending to take BTP under, obviously. And the two other entities are your department HOD and the department or the center head under which your BTP advisor is a part of. So that's the overall purview. The department, it's mostly between FACAD and your BTP advisor. The HODs are signing authorities and they usually do not present any problems in there. So at least in chemical department, there's no issue. So that's there. As for approaching, there are 2 approaches. So like Aman and I don't know about Aman, but a few of our other friends, they basically looked up the list of projects that professors had in CSE. So like in our department, a list is released. Similarly, a list will obviously be released in the computer science department. So they looked it up and they saw, and after a while, when CSE students have taken up, or even before that, you can mail the professors regarding that. I saw that you have an open project under this title, and I have some relevant experience, or I have a wish to work under you. So I would like to work there. So many a times professor do agree on that if they don't if they are all right with, if they find your experience if they find your experience appealing. or in some cases you can bring out your own projects too. Like my project is it was essentially an outside the institution project which I proposed to Professor Pavitra Mitra, and he agreed to supervise me on it.
Yeah, just to add to what Arnesh just said, you can even take a BTP outside KGP. So let's say you're working on a particular internship with some other professor, maybe outside India as well. Then you can coordinate with your faculty advisor or any other professor who's willing to like guide you in that. So you're both the professor in KG in the campus and the outside campus. They both can coordinate and then grade you according to your work that you've done.
On that, a specific small piece of advice: do not even try going the official route of officiating the outside the campus professor, because then that would require a memorandum of understanding between the two institute heads, and like that's basically a lot of paperwork. So like keep your advisor in the loop that yes, the project is under someone from other outside KGP, and like let them work on informal terms, and the grade be decided finally, or like between their communication.
Okay. Anshuman, Subraja, and Aman, would you like to add anything to this?
No, I guess Anish and Mutya
Yes, sir.
covered all.
Just go on by another route, that is like cold mailing every professor in KGB. You don't have just gonna take up a BTP. Create a list of it that is of every professor, and you can just don't even use the professors that are relevant to you. For example, if you are interested in finance, create the professors in USOM and like go through their interest if they are working in finance or accounting. Then you can just reach out to them. And then another option is like if you are already working on a project with some professor, then you can ask them to extend that your next semester.
Okay.
That would be really easy because you don't have need any like other permissions. You just need to inform the professor that you want to continue the project as a BTK. You need to just inform your faculty. They will arrange all the permissions from the activity of the department.
Just a note here, when you're mailing the professors, don't mail all the professors in a particular section, like in a particular research area, simultaneously. Like, don't just shoot out mails. The professors also talk among themselves. So
Yeah,
let's say,
yeah, the general rules of FT mailing apply here, basically.
yes, yes. So like, if both you wrote the mails to both the professors and they know that simultaneously, then there's a chance that you might not get BTP under any of one of them.
Okay. There's
Try to
one more. Yes,
professor.
please continue.
Add your name or add like their department or any recent project or like if you've read any paper that they have recently published, then you can add that to your mail. Even if you are mailing two professors simultaneously, if the mail content is different and if your interest areas are like slightly different but in the same field, then you can mail both the professors simultaneously.
Okay. There's one more question from the audience side. Is BTP allotment based on CG?
Not
Uh,
necessarily
really.
per se, not necessarily per se, but yeah, like if you are doing something in core, professors do look up your CG just to get an idea of how much do you know in core.
Even outside the department, some of the professors ask for your CV to like gauge your knowledge or prior experience.
Yeah, like basically it's not a hard deadline. Like if you don't have a 8.5 CGP, they won't give a BTP, or if you don't have a 8 CGPA. But like it's like if it's above, if it's above their own decided criteria that yes, you are a good enough student, so that works.
Yeah, it depends upon professors. So if like you can understand the situation, right? If too many people are applying for the same project, so they have to set a cutoff to select a student. So for those things, they do look up, but in general they don't. They just want your interest. So if they have some seats vacant for their project, so they will definitely give it to you.
Okay. Uh,
Just moving on from the other questions. How important is BTP in your CV?
Uh, who? What's your like? Could you just like
I'm
what's
just
your Who was that?
Then I've just taken over for the audience questions.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just asking is how important is BTP in your CV?
See, so like say you're taking up your BTP right now in January or February, and you've started working on it. You can mention that in your CDC, like for your CDC CV.
Okay.
Uh,
And
I,
yeah,
yeah.
That if you don't have BTP on CV, that then you won't get any return or placement, something like that. But if you have like other projects that are better or on similar level to a BTP, or you have
Aman, you are not audible. If you could repeat.
Like he was just saying that you could use it as a CV, additional CV point. Like it's all right if you don't do a BTP, if you have projects if you have other projects through maybe FTP portal or some other profs in the department, or in fact the institute. So that also works for your CV during CDC, but basically like BTP is another chance for you to add something substantial to a CV.
Moving on, how to select a BTP which is good for your CV?
I mean, it's dependent on your interests. Like if you are planning to go for core research, so maybe a BTP under a prof who himself also wishes or pushes you for a publication will be good for you. You will have to put in more hours. You'll have to put in your elbow grease, but yeah, like yeah, it will be working for you. But if you are planning for placements, maybe if you are planning for core placements, then again it's beneficial. Something along the lines of maybe manufacturing, or even core research does work a lot, since there are companies like Dr. Reddy's that do take it up, and there are a lot of companies there. And if you are planning for a software kind of a job, maybe a BTP under CSC might help you in more towards in that direction. Something in the latest upcoming technologies like maybe blockchain and NLP, computer vision, a bit robotics if you are too interested that way.
All right.
Like basically your final ideal BTP would be defined by your final goal, right?
Yeah. Do the other panelists want to add anything to the points?
Yeah, like just a general advice to all the third years or second years who all are here. So it is not like you just have to have a very good project. Like the project looks very tempting by the name that you should have that project like robotics or something like that. The name doesn't give you benefit. It's the work that you do, and the interviewer will quickly figure it out when he asks you a question about it. So it's not like you have to have very good companies internship or some good projects whose names are very tempting and very much interesting, which seems to be. But it is more like how much you have worked into that, how much deeper you have gone into that, and that only the interviewer, like in the placement or the internship, sees in you. So make sure that you have worked upon that thing more than you are busy in selecting that this project looks more good. But if you don't have interest, if you don't work upon it, then it doesn't give you any benefits. Yeah, so that's all.
Thank you. Now moving on to the next question. Will subjects taken as a part of coursework in BTP count towards minor requirements? That has already been answered. And there's an addition to the question, even the electives that are considered for CS minor considered or not?
No, the electives won't. As I mentioned, I was talking specifically about the electives only. The electives that you are doing, and the electives for CS minor that you would be doing under your BTP are not considered now. Are not considered as per the latest information I have from my seniors. But yes, if you do take up the mandatory subjects like algo lab, switching circuits, or chaos, and so any of these subjects, if you are doing, yes, they do, they'll obviously be counted, since the institute can't expect you to take a course 2 times.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question. Can BTP2 be an extension of BTP1, or do we have to approach a supervisor for projects again?
Yeah, I'll take that up. So yes, it can be done. Say, like in my my BTP was not entirely complete. It was a big project. So a part of it was left out, which I'm doing now as an extension of BTP1. So it can be done.
Okay.
And upon that, I don't know about your, but I think our department, specifically the chemical engineering department, does have a rule to like basically the BTP2 should can only be a continuation of BTP1. I don't know if anybody else has like you like basically your supervisor for the two BTPs will remain same. You may take up a different project in BTP2, but your supervisor has to remain the same.
Okay, thank you. And then moving on to the next question, is it possible to do BTP in a team?
Yes, that like, but what do you mean by a team? Like, I think two people can definitely take up a single project under the same professor, but I'm not sure about three.
Okay. Moving on to the next question, the deadline that is given by our FACAD is 23rd January. So do we need to confirm from the professor from the other departments before that date itself?
Yes. See, last year we were given a consent form which we had to which we had to sign, and the professor in charge of the BTB, he or she had to sign, and then with our HOD had to sign that. So I think the same is the same has been done this year as well, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So then you'll have to do it before 23rd.
Yeah. How important is to do a core project in BTP, considering we need to do MTP in core itself?
Could you repeat? Sorry, I had a bit of.
Okay, I would say that, how important is it to do a core project in BTP, considering we need to do an MTP project in core itself?
It's not too important. Like yeah, like it would help you in a way, maybe forming relations or showing that you have a propensity for core, so you can do even better projects in MTP. Like since that's more time taking and time consuming. So yeah, like doing a core chemical will help your chances, but it's not entirely on that. Like you can take up a non-core, and then obviously you can take relevant and see like by core. It's not like that you'll have to use core chemical engineering too. Like a lot of professors are working on like if like I'm sure many of you will be interested in machine learning, deep learning. So a lot of you can take. So there's a lot of things going on in the intersection of chemical engineering and these fields. So you can talk with talk with like if you find some domain, like for example computational fluid dynamics, that's working a lot towards deep learning, since modeling and simulations are a part of DL and RL. So like that way you can mix up your interest in the core MTP also.
Okay, thank you. And who is the least loaded professor for taking up a core project as BTP? Can Shubhraja or Anshuman take up this question?
Come again, Vardhan, please.
So, which professor is the least loaded so as to take a core project in BTP?
I guess every professor is occasionally they don't give much load, except some of the professor that I cannot reveal the names here. Every professor is fine only. They don't give you much pressure. But yeah, I can talk about my professor. So I find it really easy to manage. Not that much stuff. That I had weekly meetings and I have to deal with research scholars on a daily basis. But yeah, I wouldn't say that it was too much hectic. It was okay. Like it was fine to me. So I can say my professor didn't give me much load, and other professors also don't give. But some of the professors are, and but I'm not sure. Like I've heard some of things, but I'm not sure, so I cannot say.
Okay, Anshuman, do you want to add anything to this?
But then actually his phone is dead, so he cannot answer.
Moving on, is there any website where one can have a look at all the projects that are available outside the department?
I'm afraid not. You'll have to contact your friends from other department for the list. Like there's no list per se. Like we all also like took up list from our friends from other departments you are interested or maybe interested in working. There's no central list for it. Maybe you can contact the Senate members to do something along those lines.
So how much time, there's one more question. How much time should one allot to their BTP project once it starts?
I mean, Motiar mentioned it like any other intern, 2 to 8 hours a week. Like two is like on a chilled out week where you have some other work. 2 to 8 hours a week is more or less will get you good results in your BTP. No issues at all.
How much time should we wait after sending a mail to the professor outside the department?
Okay. First of all, correction. Motiar said 6 to 8 hours, not 2 to 8. 6 to 8. Two is like me being a lazy ass does it sometime, and then the next week I have to do 12 hours. So basically, waiting before mailing, I would suggest 2 days at least.
Okay. So could the panelists tell about their BTP experience since they've completed BTP 1? Starting with Anish.
So yeah, my BTP topic, I'll just only explain it in layman terms. It's basically working on controlling of multiple vehicles together, basically controlling a traffic scenario together. Imagine all cars are autonomous, so controlling them together so that no collision happen, everything moves smoothly, and like people reach from point A to point B in the fastest way possible. So that's my BTP's essential abstract. It's actually from an outside the IT KGP prof, Professor Matthias Althoff at TU Munich. It was his project that I had applied to during my DART, but I didn't. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the DART scholarship, so I couldn't pursue it in my summer interns. So I requested him to take it up as my bachelor thesis, and he agreed. So next up, with Professor Pavitra Mitra has some has supervised work under promotion planning. So I approached him and asked him. So he took a review of the project and a review of what my progress has been to in this domain, etc. And he then agreed to it. During this semester, I personally wasn't given much pressure from Professor Mitra since the guiding part was going on under Professor Althoff and his PhD. So yeah, I did work a lot. I was working a lot, usually more than 6 to 8 hours a week. But that was purely because of my own interest in the domain, and like I was directly talking with the PhDs. And yeah, but I was keeping Professor Mitra in the loop. That's important because he'll be the one finally grading me. And yeah, and just I presented all the results that I had collated till then to him during my final BTP review, and I got a EX grade.
Thank you, Anish. Shubhraja, could you tell about your BTP 1 experience?
Yeah, so my project was under Parag Arvind Deshpande sir, and it was a core project obviously. So the abstract was AB initial molecular dynamic study of hydrogen storage uh, in CO2CD alloy. So it was basically related to hydrogen storage that we have to test in each alloy that where hydrogen can be stored easily. So for that we had to train some of the models and run it. So I have to work with there is a something called supercomputer. I had to work with that it was a interface that I have to write code on it and then run it, and then I can see the movement of the molecules, and accordingly we can conclude some of the results from there. So Research Scholar helped me a lot because it was something really new for me, as you all people can hear about it. So it was very new for me. So I read some of the research papers, and she helped me a lot in this process. So yeah, I got some of the learnings about the same, and yeah, I learned. The professor was also very much helpful. So, if you are having a very complicated project, so don't worry. The professor will always be there for you, and they won't expect much of it. They will only require that how you can relate these things with the coursework that you have already done. As I was having my final presentation, so Ravi Prata sir was there. So he just asked me that how can you relate these things? What was the behind physics of these things that you're dealing with? So just be sure of the behind what things are working and just simple it out. If you're taking some complicated project, just be at your basics and then look up to their project accordingly, so you can explain it much better. All things look complicated if you if you just learn the if you just read the abstract. So for me also, I was little bit afraid that how can I do this thing as it looks very complicated. But yeah, the professor and the research calls were very much helpful, so I had a nice experience with my professor.
Thank you, Shubhraja. Moving on, Aman, do you want to describe your BTP experience?
Yeah, sure. So before my video, I was working with a group under Professor Advait Mitra on something related to COVID. So there was a subgroup in that group that was working on the economic aspects of COVID-19. Specifically, like the economy was really hurt after the COVID lockdowns were imposed. The whole manufacturing sector was like down for 2 to 3 months. So we had to ascertain how much did the lockdown really cost us in terms of like economic costs.
Hello, Aman. I guess Aman is having some internet issues.
Hey,
Yes, Aman.
okay. Am I like clearly audible?
Yeah, now you're audible. Yes.
Yeah. So where did you exactly lose me?
2 to 3
When
months, the manufacturing sector was down.
Yeah, so 2 to 3 months, the manufacturing sector was down, and not just the manufacturing sector. We had to consider various sectors, like how much exactly the sector was hit due to COVID-related restrictions. So after the economic modeling part, we came up with a model, and it was published by like some seniors and the professor. And then I had to integrate some supply chain considerations into it, and I undertook a like literature review. Honestly, I didn't do much like work exactly, but I went through some papers and tried to like find out how we can further improve our economic model to like produce better results. And the project is like currently undergoing, and I will likely continue it in the next semester.
Okay, thank you, Aman. Moving on, Motiyar, do you want to describe your experience?
Yeah, sure. So my project was on multi-objective portfolio selection problem. So basically, the theoretical models which we use for portfolio optimization are like very prone to, like very sensitive to returns and volatility. So they are not practical in nature. So this using a tab use search algorithm, we are trying to find use to build a portfolio using real life variables. Like say for example, we will also include profitability and the debts of the companies involved in the like included in the portfolios, and also include the practical variables like transaction costs while creating the portfolio. So yeah, so that's pretty much all about it. So I'm
Okay,
also continuing it in this particular semester.
thank you, Motiyar. So there's one last question. Will the subject taken as should we prefer coursework over BTP if our goal is to sit for non-core placements and we want lesser load? If any of the panelists could take that up.
I mean, again, like, yeah, you'll like the load is like it depends on the subject you'll be taking instead of the BTP. At least for the autumn sem, you won't have any issues. But for the spring sem, I'll like but there will be but as Shubhraja mentioned that if you take up subjects in your BTP one, you're not allowed to take up anything else other than subjects in your BTP two. So like and even whether you be a dual degree student or you be a 4 year student, both have quite some number of depth subjects or at least electives that you necessarily have to take. So yeah, you'll have to suffer in the spring semester at least. So if that's all right with you, please feel free to take up.
Thank you, Arnesh. And one more question. Will the subject taken as part of coursework in place of BTP count towards micro specialization requirements?
No, they are essentially not counted as anything apart from your depth. Like if as I mentioned, like if you take up mandatory subjects, for your the fundamental subject of your micro there, but that may be possible. I'm still not sure about that. But yeah, like the optionals or the electives ones, they I am quite sure they don't count. Quite some seniors have lost their minors to this.
Okay. So is a 4 subject one more question is a 4 subject credit if we take a 4 credit subject as a mandatory subject, for example, if we take Algo 1 in our BTP, will they consider it for our minor?
As I mentioned, there's a bar for it. Like you have to you have to fill up exactly 6 credits in the spring semester, and you have to take a minimum 3 credit course. So essentially, what the institute says is you have to take 2 subjects of 3 credits, nothing else.
Okay, thank you. Shuvita, you can take over.
Yes, we are pretty much done with the audience questions. Let's move on. Could you all give some general advice and tips to the third years?
I mean, they would depend on what you want.
Regarding a BTP itself.
Okay, okay. Yeah, like like try to be regular so that you don't have a lot of trouble at the end. I'll say this at this point of time. उसके बाद भी होने यही वाला है कि आखिरी के 2 हफ्ते सब रोते रोते टेस्ट के साथ साथ बीटीपी लिखोगे तुम लोग. होने यही वाला है at the end of the day. But yeah, try like at least try for the initial 1 month or so to be a bit regular on it so that you have some results that you can just complete up and show for your BTP.
Yeah, also adding to it, say for example, you're working from day one, then make sure you're documenting everything. Like it happens with a lot of people that you've done most of your work by the end of the semester, but then you haven't kept a note of what the assumptions were that you used, how you cleaned your data and everything. So yeah, you have to there's a lot of effort at the end, and you have to go through entire stuff to document it.
A useful piece of advice would be to just dump everything into a Google Doc as and when you are doing it, so that at least you have the content and then you can clean it up later.
Shubhraja and Aman, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, just one thing, that please be honest with the research scholars or the professor or with whoever you're dealing with, because that really helped me, that I was facing some of the time crunch because of the placements and all. So I was really honest with him, and he really helped me out that yeah, you can take a rest and you can do this work later. And just hiding things won't help you. Just be honest, and when you are taking time off, so make sure that you are able to work the next week or the next day, and show him that yeah, if he is giving you some if he is cutting you some slack, so you can also do work, because eventually you have to complete it, and don't keep things for the last minute. That that will really scare you at the last moment with your, yeah, we all have to make a presentation, then you also have to make a report, and the report will be of some 10 to 12 pages, so you have to write each and everything. Also plagiarism checker are there, so please don't leave things for the last minute. Start things from early and only, and for the reports and presentation you have to be thorough for whatever you are writing over there. So please don't leave things for the last minute, and please be honest with all of your research scholars or professors that you're dealing with. Yeah, so pretty much that.
Amen, would you like to?
I would say just be in touch with your supervisor, contact them frequently. Just don't send an initial mail and then forget about it for 2-3 months. Just don't do that, and it will be pretty much easy to complete your BTP.
Okay.
Sorry, I joined a bit. I got disconnected in between. Yeah, as for the final words, I would just like to tell you that don't procrastinate. That's the most important thing, probably, and manage your time properly. That is something that you'll probably realize, and if you guys are managing placements and BTP simultaneously, and even the flag checker that you will be using to review your final report, that requires a registration from the library as well, and usually those people take some time and delay the process of it. So make sure that that you do that in time, and
and don't keep it till the last moment. That's a pretty common thing that all of us told you. Yeah, best of luck with that.
Okay, I think we have reached the end of the session. I would like to thank all the panelists and the participants for joining the session, and especially the panelists for taking out time and enlightening us today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. All the best, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, the best, and also that's a given that if you have any other queries, doubts, just feel free to ping us anytime. Okay. You know our names.
Please.
And find us on Facebook. That should.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thanks, panelists.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye, everyone.
All the best.